welcome back to the Midnight Syndrome podcast. This is episode 2. We got a dope episode for you. But before we get into all of that, we want to get a quick shout out to Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. January 26, 2020. We lost a great one of the greatest Lakers of all time. Please have a quick moment of silence for Kobe, Gigi, and the rest of those that lost their lives in the helicopter accident. Now that that's done, shout out to Kobe one more time. And since he's the greatest Lakers of all time, let's talk about my Lakers and how they are in 2022. 2 years later. Bruh, check me out, bruh. Like, listen, ain't no reason, way, shape, or form the Lakers should be in the play-in tournament, bruh. Last year, bruh, like, come on. We was there last year, bruh. Like,
yeah, that shit was terrible.
What you mean? You got Lego Bones AD over there.
You got LeBron.
I know you got street clothes.
Jameis. What are you talking about, son? One of the greatest clothes of all times.
You got AD
clothes,
man.
Let me talk about
that nigga. Like,
don't get me started on
Legos,
LeBron
bro.
James, the GM, because that nigga not getting the pass, bro.
Yeah,
like,
GM.
No cap, bro. He's not getting the pass, bro.
He's
the man,
part of the reason
man,
why the team is even like this right now,
bro. I'm so tired of seeing all these posts. Oh, LeBron in year 19, dropping 30 a game, blah 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 blah. It ain't his fault. The Lakers are losing. Yes, it is, nigga. He put the team together.
Speak on it.
Put the whole team together, bro. The whole retirement home team together. Oh, don't count us out. Y'all keep that same energy, nigga.
I think you deleted that post.
We 500. That shit ain't aged well at all, bro. Bro, it don't make no sense to me, bro. And then personally, unpopular opinion, bro, I don't know about everybody else. I personally ain't want him to come to LA in free agency. I was praying for it.
Facts.
As a Laker fan, hell no.
Wow.
I was praying for it.
Respect him as a player, but as a teammate, like, nah.
And the Lord ain't hear my prayers, bro. And it's kind of messed up, but you know.
At all.
I'm gonna let you rock on that mistake in a second, but I'm gonna let you rock for now. I'll tell you why you're wrong in a second, but
you tell me why I'm wrong? How am I wrong?
Yeah,
Tell me wrong. Tell me right now.
Finish.
No, cut me off and tell me how I'm wrong right now. Please tell me.
LeBron's been there 3 years, right? No, 4. This is 4th year. Right?
Fourth year.
In his second year, you guys got a ring. You got 1 ring in 4 years. That's what you signed him on for. You signed him on to win.
In the bubble, right? First of all,
I count as a half a ring. It's not a full ring.
It's not a half a ring. It's still a
ring
ring
with a little asterisk in the corner.
It's still a full ring. I'm just
Everybody
saying
had
half a
the
ring.
same issues that the Lakers did. It's
Correct. I agree. Everybody played under the same conditions. I agree 100%. But it's not like we're competing for a championship all 4 of those years, bro. We fucking missed the playoffs 1 year because he was hurt. I give him a pass for that one. And then fucking we won a championship the following year in the bubble. Then we were in a play-in tournament. We damn near lost to the Warriors in a play-in tournament.
Yeah, I did.
In a play-in tournament, and then got our ass mollywopped by the Suns.
Mollied.
And now we're back. The way we're looking right now, we're gonna be back in the play-in tournament. So I get it. We got a championship.
I got a title out of it.
We got a title. I get it, bro. But to me, this is a failed experiment, bro.
It is.
Yeah, I got a title. How is it a failed experiment?
Bro, because we got right as of right now, our team is a 500 team, and we don't even have the assets to fucking make a move right now, even if we wanted to.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Had LeBron not signed on the Lakers, would the Lakers have a title right now?
No.
Okay.
But
wait. I know what you're gonna say. So before you even say it, with all the talent that would have been there had LeBron not be there.
Okay.
If for the last 4 years, y'all made the playoffs every year and were first round, maybe second round exits, you mean to tell me that's a better alternative than winning at least a title in the last 4 years? You're not telling me that team was winning a title without LeBron.
I'd prefer to not have LeBron there, and the guys that I had then B.I., Lonzo, Josh Hart, Kuzma, Zubac. You know what I'm saying? We can go down the line. We had Thomas Bryant on the squad. You know what I'm saying? We got Caruso on the squad.
One All-Star.
B.I. was an All-Star? What we talking about here?
Wait, I thought Ingram made at least one All-Star team since then.
He
Didn't
made
he
one.
make it the year after?
He made one.
Yeah, so you're talking about trading for one All-Star. One All-Star, and we're not talking about a top-end All-Star. We're talking about a fringe All-Star and a bunch of,
But I'm talking
NBA
about
starters.
a bunch of 20-year-olds, bro. That I'm not saying I'm not, and I know don't bite my head off, but I looked at them as like a cheaper version of that young OKC team. Not saying nobody's going to be as great as them, but if we let the fucking story unfold, bro, like when LeBron retired, bro, we gonna be in the fucking dumpster, bro. Like when I say the dumpster, bro, I'm talking about the fucking dumpster, bro. Cause we don't got, I think we got an eligible pick until like 2027, bro. My jit gonna be in fucking high school by the time we can get a fucking trade going on or whatever for
Look at,
anybody of any sense. And we
yeah,
gotta
look
sit
at-
here and pray and beg and get on knees to get a fucking legitimate superstar to come to us in free agency because we gonna be fucking terrible. But we gonna be terrible, bro.
Here's my problem with the bullshit you coming out with out your mouth.
I'm bullshitting.
I'm a diehard Knicks fan. If you telling me I could trade the next 10 years in the dumpster for one title, I'm doing that shit 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. So you're not gonna sit here and tell me about no bullshit. LeBron ruined my team.
But see, our teams are different, bro. The last time,
I don't care.
it's different for you though. It's different for you. We won more recently than you though.
Yes, you won 2 years ago with LeBron, the guy you said.
Forget that one. We won more recently than you at the end of the day. But last time y'all won, you wasn't even thought about, nigga.
First of all, to be clear, before LeBron came to your team, we had made the playoffs before y'all did. We were in the playoffs more recently than y'all were before LeBron decided to brace himself and your presence with his fucking talent. And
my
you're telling
presence,
me,
I didn't want that. So why did LeBron come to y'all niggas in?
Because nobody comes to the Knicks.
I wouldn't. I'm a fucking native New Yorker, and I wouldn't go to New York again.
100%. The reason why he went to the Lakers and graced y'all with his presence was because he wanted to send his kid to his college, to a high school in Los Angeles. Excuse me, in LA. That's why. Y'all got lucky that you're in LA, and he wasn't gonna go to the Clippers. Don't nobody want to go to the Clippers.
Apparently, niggas do want to go to the Clippers. Kawhi went to the Clippers.
And what they done since?
That's not the point. The point is.
You know why Kawhi went to the Clippers? Kawhi went to the Clippers because he didn't want to go to the Lakers and play with LeBron, and he grew up a Clippers fan. So again, it's one of those things where the stars fall.
And that's fine. I'd have been perfectly fine. Because at the end of the day, I won my championship, and now I'm back where I would have been with my young boys.
Only a Laker could talk about I'd rather have mediocrity instead of winning a title. Only a Lakers fan. I can't even fathom that. As a Knicks fan, I can't even fathom that. We've been trying to do anything to try to win in any sort of form or fashion for years now. And only a Laker fan could come out and say, well, LeBron kind of ruined us because, he traded away the future so that we can win a title now. Boo-hoo. That's bullshit. That's the biggest bullshit I could ever hear.
That's a fact.
It baffles me. There's no facts about it. There is nobody that he traded away that I can honestly say, yo, he would have led you to a title. Brandon Ingram's been losing with the number one pick out in the Pelicans when he decides to play.
Number one pick? You talking about Heavy D or Heavy Z?
That's what I said. Okay, wait a minute. Zion played most of the year last year, and they still were nowhere near making the playoffs. And that's with Lonzo playing half the year. Oh, another byproduct of the Lakers that you want to have back so that you could not win. That's right. Another one. Yeah, Lonzo's great now for the Chicago Bulls. Wonderful. You want to know why? Because they have a bunch of talent, and he's allowed to do what he does well: play defense and play make. But on the Lakers, with the lack of talent you guys had, because you're not telling me
lack of talent.
You guys had fringe, borderline talent. Kyle Kuzma is not an All-Star. Zubac is barely a freaking starter in the NBA. Zubac plays 20 minutes on the Clippers. Okay, listen. He's barely a service. He does not start on half of NBA teams. He only starts on the Clippers because they don't have any kind of talent at big. That's it. And because Ibaka is 44 years old.
I get it. You're fucking with me. That's cool. You're fucking with me.
How am I messing with you?
You're fucking with me right now, bro.
Excuse me. Zubac? Zubac is a legitimate starter on half NBA teams.
Zoo Blocker. Refer to him as Zoo Blocker for the rest of the fucking episode. Refer to him as Zoo Blocker. Yes, Zubac, bro.
He does not start on half NBA teams, or barely half. Barely half. There is no one on this God green earth that's saying I would take Zubac, Ingram, Kuzma, and Lonzo over LeBron James. No GM in basketball is doing that. That's what we're talking. We're talking those four over LeBron. And you can't even count Kuzma because Kuzma won a title with LeBron. He only traded him afterwards after Kuzma was doing some dumb shit. So he technically won a title with LeBron. He's not even counted. We only talking about Ingram, Lonzo, Zubac. Those are the three you guys lost because LeBron said, I want to win now. Oh, excuse me. And Josh Hart, who's a backup. That's right. Josh Hart. You know, the sixth man on the Pelican teams that's still bad. Josh Hart, yeah, sure. Like I said, no one in their right mind is saying they're taking those four over LeBron James. That's asinine. No one.
It's not asinine, bro. It's not asinine, bro. We about to be in a bro. Listen to me, son. Listen to me.
Like you want a title. It doesn't matter where you are now.
What you mean it doesn't matter where I'm at now? I got LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook on my team, and I'm in a fucking play-in tournament right now, bro. Like, what are we talking about here?
Look, that's
what I have on my team right now.
The team is under 500 as of today.
That's my team right now.
Westbrook is a cancer. What can I tell you? Hey, it's what it is.
At the end of the day, my boy, I was in the play-in tournament last year. I didn't make the playoffs the first time he got there. And then I'm in the play-in tournament again right now. And I damn near lost to the Warriors in the play-in tournament last year.
So you're telling me that if LeBron wasn't there, you guys wouldn't be in the same situation with those players from before? Minus AD, because AD wouldn't be there without LeBron. So we're not talking about all those little kids from before that you said that were still on breast milk out of high school. You're telling me that they wouldn't be in the same situation with those players that they are now.
So stupid.
We would be in the playoffs. Playoffs.
Brandon Ingram's not in the playoffs in the Pelicans. Lonzo's only in the playoffs because he got DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine and Vucevic. Josh Hart's not in the playoffs because he's bumming it with Brandon Ingram. Zubac lost his two big guys, and if they do make the playoffs, I can tell you it ain't because of him. So you telling me that combination of talent would put you guys in a playoff situation in the West?
Bro, we would be. I believe those guys developing with Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, Kuzma, Josh Hart, Zubac, and whatever else we put around them, we'll be in the playoffs. But we'd be a contender?
No. Y'all wouldn't even. Y'all would be in the play-in in the exact same position y'all on. Y'all would be the Pelicans without Zion.
So I expect to be in a play. If they doing a play-in and I had that squad, I would expect to be a playoff team or in a play-in tournament. I'm not expecting
because your expectations will be
expectations are lower.
I'm not expecting to be in a play-in tournament with LeBron James.
But why wouldn't, as a fan, why wouldn't you want your expectations to win a title every year? You have LeBron James. That is literally has been the golden ticket to my team is going to make the finals. Whether they win or not is a different story altogether because he doesn't win most of the time in the finals. But at least you can say, I got LeBron James.
But 2 out of the 3 years he haven't been.
But one of them, you won a title. You let alone get there. You won a title. You have a title in the last 4 years. In his 4 years of wearing the Lakers jersey, you have a title.
I'm just saying, it was during a COVID season. Everybody had the shit.
You just said X can't use that because everybody was on the same playing field. And now you
say it was during the COVID
season. But ever since we've been back in a regular NBA season, we have not done anything, bro. Mm-hmm. Anything, and that's with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Hey, sorry, we ran into a little technical difficulty, so we're gonna continue from here. But like I said, Laker fans are to me they mind. As a Knick fan, it just blows mine. Y'all would take mediocrity just to not have LeBron on your team. That's wild,
bro. It's because, bro, we're looking for the future, bro. At the end of the day, I get what mediocrity or dumpster is like for longer than we have. I understand that. And I get that. You know what I'm saying? We even gave you one of our own, nonetheless, that we drafted a little bit.
Here we go.
The one and only. The most improved player, bro. You can't even front. The most improved player. Y'all got
okay. Yeah, let's do this.
Bro, y'all got Julius Randle, my boy. The most improved player, bro. Y'all made the playoffs. I know Ice Tray. Put y'all in the freezer. Y'all in the freezer. Get y'all a bow. Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, you right.
In y'all house.
Sent y'all home.
I was just happy we didn't have to play like in the play-in like some other people.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's what I've been complaining about, or that you've been complaining about for the whole segment. But it's cool.
I get it. But because you know what? One of our other young players was out there. You know what I'm saying? And y'all had most improved player, Julius Randle, on the squad.
You done? I can't stand this nigga, dog.
I can't stand me. I'm speaking facts.
So we done? We can start because I can.
Okay,
I'm
sorry. Let me let the Knicks play a little violin while they complain about how bad their fucking GMs and their owners are.
No, I'm not gonna complain about that. See, here's my problem.
Here we go.
You talk a lot of bullshit when the other day I even made the joke and said, "Yo, you can have him for free." And as bad as your team is, and let's be clear, you guys are fucking trash. As bad as your team is, you still say, "Nah, I don't want him back." Former Laker. Isn't that part of that young core you was talking about? That you rather have over LeBron James? Huh?
Negative.
Wait,
I did
not
mention Julius Randle.
He comes in that package. Package. LeBron got there. Julius left when LeBron got there. The reason why Julius left was because LeBron was coming and they didn't have the cap room to re-sign to Julius Randle.
I ain't want
Had
him.
LeBron not got there, y'all would have had Julius Randle for the next 4 years. So that's part of that core you was talking about.
Negative.
Them young guns, Julius Randle, B.I., Lonzo, all those bullshit people you was talking about. That's part of them. That you rather give up a whole ring for. A whole fucking ring. You rather give up for them bullshit little youngins that can't even win on their own. But I'm going to get back to Julius Randle.
Hold on.
The only player from
Lonzo trash? Hold on. Lonzo trash?
Lonzo is not a star. Lonzo's not trash. I like Lonzo. Lonzo's a good player. But on that Laker team, Lonzo would have been just another guy they would have targeted as a guy who they drafted too early and wasn't doing enough to lead that team to the playoffs. He's great on the Bulls now because, again, the Bulls have the talent to hide his weaknesses, and he has improved his game. But on the Lakers that you said you wanted with them young guns, he would have been just another target, and y'all would have ran him out of town like the Pelicans did because the Pelicans had the same excuse and problem with him y'all would have had. He can't be one of your best players on offense because you're not going to win. Because, again, they had him with Zion, they had him with B.I., and he couldn't win.
But
so you've been here complaining.
Limited too. Come on, let's not pretend like.
I don't care if his offense is limited. He averages 25 a game. His offense is limited at the rim, putting up 25 a game, shooting 55% from the field. Shaq's offense was limited. That didn't stop him winning 4 titles.
Wait a minute. Shaq was goated in the post. Relax.
Zion's averaging 25 plus in his first full year, and you're not telling me that boy isn't special? I mean, he's fat, but you're not telling me he's not special?
I don't say he's not special, but half them points came from Lonzo, bro. What you talking about? Off the break.
No, they wasn't. Lonzo averaged 5 assists at max. And in fact, a lot of Lonzo last year in the Pelicans, he wasn't controlling the offense. Zion wasn't controlling the offense. And that was the problem with Lonzo because he wanted the ball in his hands more. And he was useless because he was treated as a spot-up shooter. I mean, granted, it improved his three-point shooting, but if you looked at that team play, he didn't have the ball in his hands. Zion did. So you're not telling me 25, 27 points was coming from 5 assists Lonzo. That doesn't work that way. I may not be a mathematician, but 5 assists don't equal 25 points to a guy who don't shoot threes.
It helped.
No, it don't.
It helped.
I'm sorry. And Lonzo was injured half the year anyway. So we're not talking about that. Now, back to the Julius Randle bum ass.
Okay, here we go.
Here's the problem, and this is what started with the Lakers. See, y'all entertain this bullshit. Y'all entertain this round-bound, wannabe Charles Barkley and a playmaker and LeBron at the same time ass. Y'all allowed him to be bad. Y'all allowed him to catch a rebound, run up court with a below-average dribbling skill set, a below-average vision skill set, a below-average passing skill set. Look off his point guard, shooting guard, small forward, center, his coach, his assistant coach, the fans. He looks off everybody, and y'all allowed that. So now we are stuck with a guy. Yeah, as in the Los Angeles Lakers, as in Byron Scott, as in y'all allowed him to be who he is today. So you know what? We got a guy who thought he was a freaking superstar. Why? Because in his last year on the Pelicans, when they had nobody, excuse me, I'm sorry, when they had Lonzo, when they had B.I., when they had injuries there, he put up 23 and 8 a game. He got a contract from the Knicks. The fans were still in attendance. He was trash. The fans left, and like your Lakers, he was a different person. So he decided he was going to be good for it in a contract year. Got an extension. The fans are back, and I can't handle the fans booing me because I'm trash. So now I'm gonna put my thumb down, my excuse is that they're putting pressure on me. Oh, boo hoo! No, y'all allowed that shit to happen. Now we got to figure out a way to get him off this team because he can't play in New York.
So it's my fault, y'all trash.
No, I said it's the Lakers' fault. The same regime that you didn't want them to get LeBron. That 1 year title. That same regime.
Wow, we're still on that.
And unfortunately, the regime that signed Randall initially was the regime we had to fire because they were trash. And he played his way into his contract, or else he'd be gone too.
Facts.
But
I'm not trying to trade that boy.
I hope. I really hope so. I truly hope so.
I'm sitting there thinking, who's gonna take this nigga though, bro? Like
nobody. He garbage.
I'm hoping
besides the Lakers, who got nothing to give us.
We don't want Julius Randle. You crazy? Julius is right where he need to be at. He's gonna be in a Spike Lee movie, all that shit. He right.
The G League.
That's fine. Put him where y'all want to put him.
Unless Spike Lee start making pornos, he not gonna be in no damn Spike Lee movie.
Because that nigga fucks the Knicks every night.
Every night, and all their fans together. We all get it. We all get it. I'm sick and tired of him getting double teamed in the post. He can't dribble through double teams. He has no vision through double teams. He has freaking his best shot, and by best I mean the one he takes the most, is a 17-foot turnaround jumper that he barely hits the rim on. I'm sick and tired of watching him. But again, the Lakers allowed this, and now we got to live with it.
I don't get how y'all blaming me for y'all picking up Julius Randle.
No. Look,
like y'all saw something in him too.
No. Yeah, he averaged 23 and 8 his last year with the Pelicans. That's what we saw. But to be clear, it was a regime that signed 17 power forwards the same year they signed Julius Randle. So I'm not saying it's y'all fault we signed Julius Randle. I'm saying Julius Randle's playing ability, or in this case, inability, that's y'all fault. That's all the Lakers. Congratulations, y'all played yourself. We just stuck with it because we did Knicks.
We played our
Unfortunately, unlike y'all who are in God's gift to fucking NBA teams, we don't have free agents lining up to sign with us. We don't got guys like AD talking about, I want to get traded, but only to the Lakers. We don't have that. So we have to figure out how to build a team with an inept owner and a fan base that turns on their players faster than anybody outside of Philadelphia. Hold on. Hey, what's going on? My shit keeps fucking up. I don't know. My webcam just don't like me today. But moving on, because I feel like we covered the Lakers and Knicks a little too much for anybody's liking, because they both piss me off right now. Let's move on to the trade deadline, fellas.
I'm tight. I'm going to look at something real quick, see how the Lakers are looking right now.
They're looking like trash. I think they're losing by like 15 currently.
Wow. We're down by one. We're down by one. Fuck out of here.
Oh, y'all.
That's how you come back from a 16-point deficit.
You want to bet
on a 15-1 run?
I got $20
They decided to put teams at the 10 o'clock game because
fucking outscored the Hornets 36-21. Is that 38? Nah, 36-21.
Put some money on it.
In the third.
I got $20. They still lose. That's your team, right? $20. They still lose.
Forget all that.
You see how you changed something real quick?
I know we trash, bro. I know we trash.
That's the thing.
Now,
we I don't expect us to win. You know what I'm saying? But shit, if we win,
we're not arguing. And at this point in time, there's nothing that we could do at the trade deadline to make our team better, to move the needle or whatever. The only asset we got.
No movable assets. You guys are 75 years old.
Exactly. No movable assets. All we got is THT. We can't even package any picks.
Nobody wants THT.
Can't do anything.
I think the first available pick we're able to attach to anybody
is 2029 or
it's 2027. I think.
27, yeah.
Or whatever. So
that's wild.
The trade deadline is going to be a really boring trade deadline for us. So
ain't shit going to happen.
Yeah, just gonna trash the rest of the year. I'm glad. So let the Knicks fans talk about it because we actually have moves we can make. So while y'all can't do shit,
nobody wants Julius Randle, bruh.
Hey, man,
I guarantee somebody would take Julius Randle 10 times before they take Russell Westbrook. That's
we
what I
can't
thought.
afford
Moving on.
to trade Russell Westbrook. That's the problem.
That's a difference.
No. It's not that y'all can't afford him.
You can
Y'all
give
can't
Westbrook
trade
for
him.
free.
Nobody wants him. The LA Sparks don't want him. The New York Liberty don't want him. The Shanghai Sharks don't want him. Nobody want him. All right? His mama don't want him. OKC don't want him.
So let me ask you. So let me ask you. Let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell want Julius Randle?
Bro, a GM called the Knicks about Julius Randle yesterday.
What GM?
Bro, it's unnamed.
It's unnamed. Exactly.
Hold on.
The GM's on fucking 2K. That's
This
the
is
GM
fake
about
news.
Julius Randle, bro.
An unnamed GM called the Knicks yesterday and was giving the impression that for the right price, he's movable. You know what that also means? That there's a right price to move him. There is no
right price,
to move
nigga. Who you getting back for Julius Randle?
Whoa. You acting like Julius Randle's having a terrible season. He's having a bad season compared to last year, and he's not having a great season. But let's be clear, he's still one of the top 15 to 20 players that would be available for the trade deadline.
Randolph 0.5, nigga.
Memphis wanted him. They were in the playoffs every year with him and freaking Marcus O.
With the real Zebo, they don't want.
What real Zebo? Zebo's career was consistent.
Now he's talking about he's calling Julius a fake Zebo.
Julius Randle at the end of the day is still averaging roughly 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. There's not a lot of power forwards in basketball that is averaging that. I don't care what you say. There's just not a lot of power forwards.
Since nobody else doing it,
he's not good for our squad.
He's not a good fit for us. He's not. Y'all could use him because y'all have no talent. But we have the talent we're trying to develop.
But my talent got me a championship ring in the last 4 years. Make up your mind, bro.
Now we know Russell Westbrook.
What we talking about here?
Now we know Russell Westbrook. And your bench was a lot different than it was then. Your bench wasn't 65 years old collecting Social Security at the end of games.
So who you getting for Julius Randle?
Honestly, I feel like we can get a low first, so anywhere from 20 to 30, first round draft pick, a fringe prospect, and salary filler. That's not out of the realm of possibility for Julius Randle. That is a legitimate, or a star, or all-star, or a former all-star who's unhappy in a situation, who makes the same amount of money, or somewhere in the
who? So ideally, who would you want if you could put a package together right now? Who would you want for Julius Randle? Realistic package.
Based on teams that could use him.
A legitimate trade package that you feel like if I go
then
to this
want to
team,
take Westbrook for Randle, so that's cool. So that's fine. No one's taking him. Let's be clear.
I don't want Julius Randle on my team.
You rather get Westbrook?
If you 100%. Want Westbrook, then that's wild to me. But that's cool. That's fine. You can be wrong. It's a game. It wouldn't be the first time today, so you can be wrong. It's fine. Let me hold on. Let me look through. Honestly,
I think Jerry Grant.
I don't think Detroit's gonna want. I don't think Detroit's gonna want him.
They're talking about moving him and Sadiq Bey, which puts them down. Who do they have after that? Kelly Olynyk? They're gonna take that nigga, bro. They got fucking.
To be honest, I can see.
They got Trailer Park Jesus, Kelly Olynyk. I think they'll fucking take.
I can see a trade, and y'all gonna kill me. I can see a trade with Portland around CJ McCollum because they need to shake things up. McCollum and Dame Lillard doesn't work. They need a big man that can score. Nurkic is too inconsistent. Jerkic is too inconsistent of a scorer, and they need a guy who also, outside of scoring, can control the ball. They don't have a guy who really can score from both the three and the low block. That's not Jerkic.
Out of there in fucking 2 weeks.
Dame's not even playing to send him out. Dame's not playing to send him out.
Anthony Simmons sent that nigga out of there too for being looked off.
Who?
Simmons been hooping. Let's relax.
Because nobody's there. Literally, because nobody's there.
Bro, y'all not getting CJ.
CJ's on the block.
But y'all ain't getting CJ?
All right.
What if so?
We'll see what Portland gets for CJ. Because they're not getting Ben Simmons.
So Knicks fans, how do y'all feel about De'Aaron
We're gonna
Fox.
touch back on that Ben Simmons in just a second after X.
Actually, De'Aaron Fox is another one I could see.
So De'Aaron Fox for Julius Randle. How do y'all feel
No,
about that trade?
Not straight.
It has to be
Not
Julius and Kemba, probably.
No. Well, for money, yes, but it would have to be Julius and at least Dallas's first round for De'Aaron Fox. At the very least, that's
And
how it
Kemba?
would. Yeah.
Y'all would keep Kemba and De'Aaron on the
So
same
they're
team?
trading Kemba. Regardless, they're trying to trade
Kemba's
Kemba,
gone.
Alec Burks, and Evan Fournier. They're on the block automatically, so they're trying to trade Kemba. Kemba's gone. The Knicks are trying to find room to play Cam Reddish anyway. So Kemba's gone.
I mean, y'all would get a decent point guard, really. Y'all got De'Aaron Fox.
I think
I like
that,
De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is nice.
Yeah. I'm saying y'all would
but I
have a
don't
decent
think
point guard.
Sacramento wants to
I don't
trade.
think y'all have had like a legitimate point guard.
The
I
only
mean, at
way
that point,
I can
they don't
see
really.
Sacramento doing that.
I think they're trying to move on from taking on another point guard, especially a veteran point guard, because they have Halliburton and they have Davion Mitchell who could run the two.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they don't really need to bring in Kemba at that point. I don't think that they would really need to
But
take
you can
him.
get a 3-team going on if you can take Julius Randle, send Kemba somewhere else, take another pick or whatever.
I think they would trade Kemba if the Knicks would agree to take back Buddy Hield's contract. I think if they
That's
could shed
tough.
Buddy Hield's contract, I think Sacramento makes that deal. They've been trying to trade Buddy Hield's contract since I was in high school.
So
you're
saying Kemba, Julius, first round pick for De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield.
It would have to be Dallas's first round pick, yes. I think they make that move. I think both teams make that move. They may have to add some other contracts to make it work. Because I think De'Aaron Fox makes $150 million over 5 years, right?
Something crazy, yeah.
I'm not
The
sure.
Kings,
I know he
Kings
got
have the
paid.
assets. I don't know the numbers, but the Kings have
So
the
that would be
assets.
what, 30
grab
million a
Randle.
year. Randall's
I think
making, well,
straight up.
Randall's making 20, 21, 22 this year. Kemba's making 8, so that's about 30 there. And Hield is probably making about 12. So the Knicks
That's
would
it for
have to add,
that's it for Buddy. That's it.
it could be 12 to 15. I'd have to check.
I swear you're making more than that. Maybe I'm tripping.
On Buddy Hield's contract?
Yeah,
I thought Buddy Hield was closer to 20.
that's what I thought.
They overpaid the house. Oh, you're right. Wow, they
Yeah,
overpaid the house.
remember they.
Yeah, he's making
they
23
gave him
million.
extension.
Wow, 23 and a
apologies.
half. So what, 4
Yeah,
years?
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
And he's still got 2 years left? Yeah.
Yeah.
If the Knicks
Free
take on
agent in
that, then
2024.
they're not getting a
Holy
first round draft
shit.
pick. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, there's no way.
If the Knicks have to take on that contract, they're not getting a first rounder from the Knicks.
Wait,
But
they
I can
really
see them
gave him
attaching it.
94.
And the only way I can see that is if they decide to trade Bagley too. I think they would move on from Bagley, which they've been trying to do. Which is another interesting.
They're trying to do that. I think Bagley was trying to get out of there because
Bagley
He's
don't
been
want to
trying
do
to,
that
yeah.
that nigga Luke wasn't giving him the time of day.
at all.
Luke was treating him like
And
a
Bagley's gonna
goddamn.
snap. Whoever he goes to next, if he gets the opportunity, he's
Luke
gonna
Wall
snap.
was treating Bagley like Tristan Crease and fucking Chloe.
Yeah, which is why Luke got fired.
No.
So
So okay, that sounds legitimate, and I think that would definitely make y'all better. You know, getting rid of Julius Randle and bringing back a De'Aaron Fox.
and I think
That's
that
what I'm
was
saying.
I don't know what we do with Buddy because if
for
that's
Fox.
I don't know.
But I mean, trying to move Evan Fournier and Alex Burks, if you use those two to bring in somebody else, then that makes room for Buddy to play. But
Buddy and
the Knicks
Cam
can
run the same
also-
position.
The Knicks can also
you put
trade
Cam at
that
a 3.
first round pick, trade the Dallas pick to get from under Buddy Hield's contract in a 3-team trade. So they can technically do that, add a third team like OKC, and then move on from Buddy Hield's contract at the cost of a first round draft pick. OKC would do it because OKC's been stockpiling draft picks like it's about to be the end of the world when they start piling spam. So at this point, they would make the deal. I think you can.
My son's
get
not
away
even
with
born
that.
yet, and them niggas can fucking draft him with all them fucking first round draft picks.
At this point, yeah, I'm sure they got at least 2 picks in that.
That's facts.
Crazy.
Yeah, they got that.
Let's touch back on something that we mentioned though. We were talking about Ben Simmons. What the fuck are we thinking about? What's going on with that situation?
I think Daryl. Oh, go ahead.
First of all, fuck Ben Simmons.
Hey,
Now
Wild
y'all
X,
can go.
AKA Ben Simmons' twin,
Fuck
AKA
outta
his
here.
long lost brother. Y'all
Fuck
related?
out of here.
Aren't y'all like cousins or something? Like
I
second
mean,
room?
I think a gateway. I mean, I don't know if somebody agrees with me, but I think a gateway is opening. With the whole Harden his uncertainty of wanting to commit long term to Brooklyn, and it seems like it would be a match made in heaven for Harden and Embiid to play together, and then send Ben to fucking Brooklyn
Now watch
or
this.
whatever. So I get it. Now you do that. Now he ain't played all season, and you're kind of possibly more than likely killing all your championship hopes right now. But do you try to go for championship right now with a James Harden and then let him go for nothing in the offseason if he decides to leave?
So.
If he decides to leave,
Now I'm gonna tell you what.
That's my thing as a Nets guy.
Because if you look at it, I'm money. Hold on a second. I'm gonna let you go. But if you look at it, right? So say somehow they made that trade. Ben Simmons isn't bringing any offense to this squad that's going to need that if they make it to the finals. Whoever they're meeting in the finals, they're going to need the offensive power to go ahead and go against them. Like at the end of the day, Ben Simmons isn't bringing anything to the table besides defense, which I'll give him his defense. But other than that, this nigga is an offensive liability. I'm not dealing with that, and especially not in the finals. Like out here,
I think he passed up a dunk against fucking Icebox.
But that's just me. Go ahead, money.
Here's the problem. Watch this. The Brooklyn Nets and Philadelphia 76ers have already messed up. Brooklyn's not trading James Harden before the deadline. Philly's not trading Ben Simmons.
Yep.
Now, Brooklyn's not going to win unless the three can get on the same page and beat a Bulls team that I think is deeper and works better together. Right? So I honestly think if the Bulls are healthy, the Bulls can beat the Nets. And honestly, I feel like if the Bucks coach doesn't completely go full retard, then the Bucks could beat the Nets if they decided to play Giannis at the 5 and go small. But their biggest issue is they go Brook Lopez for 30 minutes a game against the Brooklyn Nets.
Is Brook back?
No, not yet. But by the time they play, most likely he'll be back, unless he's gone for the season. So here's why they have to make the trade now, and here's why they will both regret not making the trade now.
So you agree with me right now? You're saying?
I agree that they need to make the trade now. They won't, but they need to make the trade now.
Okay.
And the reason for it is the two things Brooklyn lacks are a legitimate playmaker
and defense,
and a legitimate defender. And that's Ben Simmons. If Brooklyn played Ben Simmons at the 5, got every game with Kyrie and James Harden, and played a small lineup, because they already play KD at the 4. So if they play Ben Simmons at the 5, KD at the 4, Kyrie at the 1, whether they keep or trade Joe Harris or not is up to them, and whoever they decide to run at 2, they would legitimately be able to switch on most pick and rolls. They'd be able to guard, for the most part, any dynamic wing in basketball, possibly 2 of them, because now they would have a guy to guard both Levine and DeMar DeRozan, which they don't have that right now. And most importantly, they have a guy that actually wants to play there. James Harden doesn't really want to play there right now. Top it off. Right now is the only time they'll be able to trade it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to make the trade, and James Harden is not going to land up in Philadelphia next year. Because they're already talking about collusion, and we haven't even hit the trade deadline.
Collusion with who?
With the Nets. With the Nets, with James Harden and Philly. Because they're already talking about Philly is going to, the Nets are going to look into collusion if James Harden signs with Philly in the offseason because of his ties with the owner, his ties with Daryl Murray, and they believe that he's been talking to them through back channels. So now he's trying to force his way out of Brooklyn to get to Philly. So
that's all the more reason to do it now.
And here's the problem. If the league decides that they want to make an example out of them, and let's be clear, for the last couple of years, the league has been trying to make an example of quite a few.
They've been cracking down on that shit.
So that trade, they're not going to allow a sign trade in the offseason. I can tell you that right now. And even now, if they make that trade, Brooklyn isn't going to make the trade, just to be petty. Brooklyn is not going to get James Harden to Philly because they know that if they do that, then they're just giving him away to what he wants. Brooklyn would rather lose him at this point than to trade him to Philly and get back Ben Simmons.
I think that's being. I mean, that's fucking stupid.
And you should know the Lakers did the exact same thing.
It's fucking stupid. Nonetheless,
Well, excuse me. The Lakers didn't do it. The Pelicans did the exact same thing to the Lakers with AD.
It's stupid.
It's probably why you don't have 2 rings.
It's stupid because I mean at the end of the day, I just you just can't leave let an asset like James Harden walk away for free. For nothing. For nothing. Like if you're getting the signs, the hints, or whatever that he doesn't want to play there, bruh, you can't let him walk away for nothing. Period. And it's not even I get it. If you're fucking dominating everything, you know what I'm saying, and you're like, oh, with James, KD, and even with a part-time Kyrie, I'm 100% winning a championship. Then I understand waiting. You know what I'm saying? But you can't let him leave for nothing, in my opinion. You just can't.
Well, I don't think he's leaving for nothing. Honestly, I don't think he'll leave for nothing. James Harden has always been about his bread. James Harden takes max on max on max. And I highly doubt he's going to take a year less and 30% less to sign outright with a team. So any team he decides to sign with,
sign a trade.
I'm sure is going to work out a sign and trade with the Brooklyn Nets. I don't see it any other way. I feel like whoever will work that deal out. But if it were me, I'd make the trade for Simmons now. And that just makes sense to me too. The other side of it is Daryl Morey is going to be known as the guy who wasted one of the best players in basketball's prime. Because by not trading Ben Simmons now, you're wasting the best year that Joel Embiid's ever had.
Facts.
Because he's even better than he was last year when he was front runner as MVP before he went down and gave it away to Jokic. But he's wasting literally one of the best 3 or 4 players in basketball's prime. A guy who has an injury history himself, and you don't know how much longer he'll be healthy for. So by playing chicken with Ben Simmons, he's costing himself more than anything else.
Yeah, and I just don't see how you don't jump at if I'm Daryl Morey, I'm making the phone call, bro. James Harden want to be out of there. I'm making the phone call. I'm calling.
He's been wild in the whole situation the whole season. So I mean, at this point,
at the end of the day, it's all Doc Rivers' fault. And you got to make your bet with it. It's Doc Rivers' fault. Doc Rivers made that comment about Ben Simmons after the playoffs, and you do not do that as the head coach.
No matter what.
Doc Rivers thought he was Phil Jackson, and he learned real quickly, motherfucker, you're not. Phil can get away with it because Phil is winning titles. You lucked into 4 Hall of Famers. Phil wins titles. He can get away with saying some slick shit as a coach. Doc Rivers cannot. So when he came out and said, yeah, I don't think Ben Simmons can be the lead point guard or the lead guard on a championship winning team, he all but signed a death warrant. He killed his value on the market. He killed the confidence of his second best player. Yeah. Hey, you live with it.
Yeah, man. I remember that. I remember the press conference at that game. I was like, wait. I had to pause and rewind it. I'm like, he didn't just say that.
Right? Yeah, that was
wild. So from that moment on, I already knew the off season and with all the shit that was happening when they were going to practice, I guess for the next season, him not showing up. This man had a phone in his pocket while he was doing drills. I'm like, damn. I was like, oh shit. I knew from that comment. I'm like,
said, hey, I can go back home.
Yo, I already knew, and then he got kicked out of practice. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, for him, it'll never be the same. So unless he were to get on the team sooner rather than later,
there's no way my head coach is gonna say that shit about me. And
I'm gonna show up and give you 110%.
Saying, hey, this nigga's trash at his job, but we just gonna keep him around because it's whatever.
Right.
I'm not coming. I'm gonna work with an attitude every day.
Yeah, he lucky he didn't pull up poor George and fuck his daughter. But I digress. That's another topic for another day. What I'm saying is
Seth Curry about that life now, bro. Bitch ass nigga. Bitch ass nigga. That's what you is. But
I don't know. I just think it should happen now. I mean, it just makes sense for both teams, honestly speaking.
Yeah, but it's with Simmons, it's such a risk, man. It's roulette.
I mean, get it. He got his scoring issues, his scoring woes, or whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, he's still an elite basketball player, bro.
I mean, he shoots 30% from the free throw line, but yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like as of like what I said, it's.
I agree.
Listen, the way
his defense and everything else that he does on the court beyond scoring is good enough for him
and
to.
And he's still gonna get you 15 to 16 a game.
I mean, we don't know that right now. I don't know how fucking sure his confidence is.
Listen, you are as good as your last, and that's what that's what I would rate him on from there on out. Put him in any trade talks. Like, what have you done lately? I'd say, nah, fuck out of here.
I mean, I don't know how Cuz built. You know what I'm saying? But
he not built. They definitely not built different. That nigga built.
I'm not saying that, but I mean, a change of scenery could be good for the man. He might be, motivated to show, hey. I'm not saying he come out here to pull up 3-pointers or whatever, but I feel like his numbers might, raise up a little bit just to prove a point.
I think he just needs out of that situation.
I don't know.
By the way, the thing with Brooklyn, we forgot to mention, Philly's trying to attach Tobias Harris to Ben Simmons.
Yeah, totally.
So not only would they be getting Ben Simmons, but they'd be getting Tobias Harris. And a small ball lineup like that.
You think they taking Toby's contract?
But that's like what?
I mean,
together is like $80 million, ain't it? Or
it's not much more than Harden and Joe Harris together. They could probably make it with Harden, Joe Harris, and
I know that boy Joe Harris let that boy KD down big time in the playoffs. Bro.
Facts.
That nigga was terrible.
You're not talking about Bruce. Money, right? You're not talking about Bruce Brown.
I would have to look at that. No.
They got Bruce Brown. They got Bembry.
They signed somebody for the mid-level, and I'm trying to remember.
Was it Patty? Was it? Patty got paid?
Patty got paid.
Yeah, it might have been Patty, actually.
Really? I thought Patty got paid.
That's what I'm saying. It might have been...
like big man.
Mills is making, $6 million.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Mills and Harris is 23 together.
That ain't bad.
And so James Harden is 44.
So you're saying taking on Ben Simmons, Tobias, which would solve your scoring issue.
Which would, solve scoring and playmaking.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly, whatchamacallit? Tobias Harris is not much worse of a scorer than James Harden is right now in that scheme. With the talent around him, he's not much worse. He's probably going to give you 17 to 18 points. James Harden is scoring down this year anyway. In a loaded lineup, he's probably giving you 21, 22.
And I think that would make a clear cut 1, 2, and 3 on that team.
And that would make Brooklyn the team to beat by far.
Yeah, I think so. Cause now you have the hierarchy fully set. You know what I'm saying? It's KD. It's no longer KD. Maybe Harden, maybe Kyrie, depending on the night, whatever it is. It's KD, Kyrie, and then whomever else.
You figure it'd be Kyrie, Bruce Brown, KD, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons as a 5.
It'll be a tough team to beat, man. No cap.
Like, but that's havoc on defense, switching wise.
Is there outside of the usual suspects? Is there anybody else y'all would want to see go to a different team?
John Collins.
John Collins?
Yeah.
I think he's wasted out there in Atlanta.
Yeah. Personally,
I don't watch them enough to speak on where I think he should go.
John Collins cost me money, so I hope he can say in whatever situation shitty for him.
All right. So
personally.
All right. So moving on, unless anybody has any objections.
So I got a wild one. I would want to see happen. I would want to see the Tatum Jaylen Brown thing experiment.
Like broken up?
Yeah.
Oh,
they were talking about moving Brown.
They're not moving Brown, are they? They're not going to move Brown.
Nah, it was talked about Brown for Ben Simmons. I think that's what they were talking about, but
yeah,
that's a fair trade.
I mean, that lets them know that if for the right price, they'll move one of them boys. So I
think the experiment needs to be over.
I don't think so.
I think it's the rest of the team that they need to fucking get together. But
I don't even think it's that. I think it's the coach. I think.
You think so?
Like Julius Randle,
Nia Long's husband,
Jason Tatum has been allowed to get away with murder because he's a gifted scorer. So because he's a gifted scorer, he's allowed to do things unchecked that doesn't allow the rest of the team to eat. And that's why they lose. They're so inconsistent. It has nothing to do with talent. When you look at the talent top to bottom,
they're nice. They should be way better than what they are.
Brown, Tatum, Marcus Smart, Dennis Schroeder.
I mean, and the fact that Marcus Smart actually said that in an interview, like, yo, you got two niggas that want to shoot 20 times a game and don't want to get the rest of the offense involved.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
I don't know. I think it might need to.
I
think they need a coach that's going to put a foot in their ass. That's what I need.
What coach do you think is doing that right now?
Yes, sir. We're doing that.
Because all these coaches are catering.
Mark Jackson.
It's funny because that's exactly what I was going to say. And I'm not a fan of Mark Jackson. I think Mark Jackson's overrated, and I think he's been given far too much credit for the Golden State Warriors. However, I think Mark Jackson would be perfect for that situation. We can argue this, but Mark Jackson is overrated, and he has very little to do with. Well, not very little to do. He has nowhere near as much to do with the Golden State Warriors' success as everyone claims to be. Nowhere near.
We can get into that another day. That'll be a long topic in itself. Be honest.
For a fact.
Nowhere near.
Mark Jackson.
So do you think where Golden State is and the amount of assets they have with Wiseman coming back, hopefully, maybe, you know what I'm saying, Clay back, and they got all those guys that were able to, you know, gain experience during those times when niggas was injured.
Yes.
Do you think they make any moves, trade deadline, to maybe, you know, shorten the rotation, to bring back another heavy hitter, maybe, possibly? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think so.
Think they make any moves?
I don't know if I'd make a move.
So. I think that
it's like,
I don't think that Steve Kerr's
right
afraid to shorten the rotation with the niggas that he has on the squad. I mean, I think they keep what they got. Right. I mean, no, doesn't make sense to bring somebody else in when you've got the niggas that have developed. When Steph, Dre was out, Clay obviously was out. You got those young boys that were hooping. You got you got All-Star starter Andrew Wiggins that we'll come back to. Good guy, that's wild. But I mean, I don't think there's a reason for them to make any moves from what they're doing with this squad.
Yeah, it's a young, quick squad. They got a lot of energy. They play well together.
I agree. So what do you do? Like, you gotta find minutes for certain people. Like, you got Kuminga.
I
mean, so they take away Damian Lee's minutes. I mean,
they take away Lee, some of Payton's minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of Payton goes back down to 8 minutes a game, which he was doing before.
Yeah, so
obviously Kevon Looney hits like 12 minutes and 12, 15 minutes. Wiseman takes those minutes over. The real thing is what's the young kid's name? Their draft pick from the draft pick. Yeah, Kuminga. The real is finding him minutes, because with Dre back, they're probably not going to lower Andrew Wiggins' minutes. It's finding him time, because that kid is nice.
Here's the problem. Golden State is really unlucky right now, and that's the first time I said that in the last couple of years, because they've been the luckiest team over the last 2 years.
I agree with that.
But Golden State is in a really unlucky situation. Golden State needs to make a move. As currently constructed, I do not feel they can win a title, or if they do, it would be it'll be by a thin line. I honestly don't think. I think Phoenix is a better team than them, and if they had to face Phoenix in the Western Conference Finals, Phoenix would blow the brakes off them in 5 or 6 games. I don't believe Golden State is a Steph and Clay. They'll continue to be top heavy with Steph and Clay. We don't know what Wiggins is really going to do in the playoffs, like a legitimate playoff series, and we know what Draymond's giving, right? But the reason why Golden State was as good as it was before Kevin Durant got there is because of that man from Australia. I understand Steph is Steph, Clay is Clay, Draymond's good. You know, Harrison Barnes was doing his 3-and-D thing. But the center from Australia, the former number 1 overall pick, Abe Ogie, was the reason why that team was as good as it was. Because he was a much better defender than people gave him credit for. He stabilized that defense. And forget about Mark Jackson. He was the reason why defensively they turned into a top 5 to 7 defense. It was the emergence of Draymond Green and the addition of Andrew Bogut. That was the reason why that defense turned up the way it did. And that was the reason why they lost against the Cavs. Forget about Draymond kicking this dude in the nuts and getting suspended. It was when Andrew Bogut went down, they lost that series because they lost their only interior defender and the only guy that could stop LeBron James at the rim. That was the reason why they lost that series. People don't give it credit because it's very easy to say, oh, Draymond kicked somebody in the nuts, oh, they choked, whatever the case is. Bogut was much more valuable to that team than people gave it credit for. Now, once KD got there, it was an embarrassment of riches. It doesn't matter. I could play center for Golden State and they would have won a title. But as they're constructed at that time, Bogut solidified that team. And even though I believe Wiseman is going to be really freaking talented, Wiseman is not Bogut. Wiseman is not that defender that Bogut was. He's a lob guy. He's more of an offensive-minded guy that's going to chase blocks. He's not a Bogut type defender. So Golden State needs to make a move for a guy like that in the post. And it's not Looney. Looney's not that good. They need a guy like that. And the problem is no one is available for – they have all these assets, but no one to spend it on. They can't trade for Ben Simmons because Ben Simmons and Draymond can't share the full court together. They're just not going to be able to.
Thanks.
Right? Milwaukee won a title, so Giannis is out of the picture now. Rudy Gobert, although I'm sure Utah would try to do anything in their power to make Donovan Mitchell happy, especially with the talks that Donovan Mitchell may want to leave at the end of the season if they get eliminated in the first or second round. And he doesn't like Rudy Gobert as a
UFA?
Yeah. They already did the Knick connection. I'm not going to get excited about it. The Knicks don't sign free agents, honestly. If it happens, it happens.
You excited about it. Stop lying, nigga.
No, I'm really not. As a Knicks fan,
honestly,
I've learned not to be excited.
You'll realize as Knicks fans, you cannot get excited about anything.
Yeah. Until it happens.
We're talking about last time I got excited about something with the Knicks.
We were supposed to get KD and Zion.
Nah, the whole Zion shit fucking really ruined my whole life, bro. These niggas really changed the rule about the lottery. I hate this fucking league. Whatever. I hate the NBA, dog. We'll talk about it another time.
But
I don't get excited for shit with the Knicks no more, bro.
Yeah.
Last time I got excited was just having a nice little jersey.
They can't. So what I was saying was they can't trade for Gobert because the young guys aren't going to be enough to keep Donovan Mitchell there. So they really have no target that they can spend this talent on. Trust me, I'm sure they would love to be able to give up a couple pieces to be able to solidify that starting lineup. And there's just no one available that can do that for them.
I get it. I mean,
you don't think? Actually, you know what? Never mind. I wouldn't even say him. He's not.
I was just trying to
defensive.
Just thinking about just like how do you find minutes for some of those guys that should be on the court? You know what I'm saying? Because you think about it too. When it comes down to playoff time, Iggy's going to get some fucking minutes.
Again, 15, 20 minutes.
And a second team, you know what I'm saying? So he's definitely going to get minutes just because of offensive experience alone.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking like just to have all those assets that are not getting PT just sitting on your bench when you can turn that into something that could help you. That's just my thought process.
They should. Do I think they will? I don't think so. But
I don't know. And then, I don't know. I guess they got a solid squad, AD, or not AD, fucking Steph Curry, Clay, Draymond, you know what I'm saying?
Back to the Lakers conversation.
Kevon Looney.
That could have been another target. He could have forced his way out by now, and you would have potentially stopped Golden State from possibly getting AD now. If they would have still been a losing team and he forces his way out, no one has the assets that Golden State has in a trade for Anthony Davis.
But maybe you throw a couple players and maybe a Miles Turner just for as a center. So
honestly, actually that would make a lot of sense.
I like that.
I think that would make a lot of sense. He shoots the three.
Yeah, they're ready to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's a top flight defender. He's not much of a rebounder, but
crazy to me.
But Steph is an above average rebounder at his position. Wiggins is a decent enough rebounder. So, I said Steph is a above average. I meant rebounder at his position, not defender. If I said defender, but he's an above average rebounder at his position. So they can team rebound because even Looney's not a strong rebounder. So it's not like you're freaking going
that
from.
No, that's all. That's all that nigga does.
But I just feel like Miles Turner would be
Looney will get 10 rebounds at 1 point.
Yeah.
In 30 minutes. That's all he does is rebound.
And then the question becomes: do you keep Wiseman and trade Kuminga, or the other way around?
I think you would trade Wiseman. Them boys got a solid squad though over there in Golden State. Boy, they scary.
Yeah.
They got motherfucking Steph, Clay, All-Star starter,
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Andrew Wiggins.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it, please.
All-Star starter Andrew Wiggins. Talk about it, bro. Talk about it, boy. Them boys.
Jamal, that's your favorite player, so I'm gonna let you start this off.
Mine?
I thought it was your favorite player, Money.
I was gonna say Andrew Wiggins. Oh my god, it's just wild to me, bro.
So
The West
we got to
is
talk
really
about the
that
snubs, man. We got to
scarce
talk
for
about.
fucking small forwards that they have to start Andrew Wiggins. It's sad
Why
in
do
basketball.
they even classify small forward as a position anymore?
Well, it's classified as forwards in general, though.
And there's no other option besides Andrew Wiggins.
But so they do 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. So you got LeBron, and then if you start thinking about it, like realistically, if you go down the line, like who we talking about? We're talking about BI. We talking about what Porzingis is considered a forward. I'm assuming, right?
It's a 4, yeah.
It's considered a forward. BI, Porzingis, like what are we talking about? Like Bridges from Phoenix?
Absolutely not.
But I'm just saying forwards that we're talking about. That's in the West.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? PG is down.
They
Kawhi's down.
You can't tell me you couldn't have put Devin Booker.
Fucking Anthony Edwards.
But Devin Booker, as I'm saying, is Ant-Man a 2? Is Devin Booker's a 2 for sure? Ant-Man's a 2.
Luka, like I understand these guys are playing 2 by position, but there's no way you don't start Luka and Devin Booker and you tell me Andrew Wiggins is the guy.
Facts.
There's no way.
Facts.
But
I'd rather start Isaiah Thomas at the 3 than watch Andrew Wiggins in the All-Star game as a starter.
So my thing is, do you think they should change the? I mean,
Yes.
it's pretty simple question.
Yes.
But the solution. What's the solution though? Like how would you change it?
I feel like your starters should be a center, a power forward, and 3 wings.
Really?
It's not that difficult. Center, power forward, and 3 wings.
Or 1 center, 1 forward, and the rest guards or forwards.
And it could be like you said, a center, a forward, and 3, and it could be 3 wings. The only position that, like center, should be specialized is point guard as well. Point guard, center, and then you can deviate the 3.
The 2
Kevin
and the
Durant
3
plays 3-4. You know, most players in basketball.
You can split the 3 with a lot of ways. You can split
2, 3, 4,
4.
Because
you got point forwards. You got one like it's Luka. I would consider Luka 1-3.
Yeah, Luka can play the 1-3. Devin Booker can play the 1-3. You can't tell me that they weren't better options than Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins, I agree, but how the format is now, like, are you I definitely think Ja deserves to be there, 100%.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Steph.
This format, if you think about it, like the West is just that starved with injuries. They're just that starved for forwards because the next option would be Bogdanovich on the Jazz, and it's
Bogdanovich. Like I said, Bridges, Brandon Ingram.
By the way, why isn't LeBron starting at the small forward?
Huh?
Why isn't LeBron starting at the small forward?
LeBron's the captain.
So LeBron is starting. They're starting at the 4 then.
Yeah, LeBron's at the 4.
Why? He's played center most of the time this year. If we're being technical, he's playing center this year most of the time. So why aren't we playing him in the 5?
I think his classification.
It's the LBA, bro. The Basketball Association.
He's playing the 5.
But his
at least half his minutes have been in the 5.
I mean, he's technically, I guess, classified as a forward though.
Bro, he's classified as a point guard, as a small forward.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. I'm just saying what it is, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. At one point, he was just strictly at the point. Like it doesn't make sense. Like they actually had his positioning
as point guard.
Charts.
There has to be another forward that we're missing, dog. Like it can't.
I don't care whether we are or aren't missing a 4, but why is it Andrew Wiggins?
Because there's nobody else. That's what Bars is saying. There's nobody else.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
There's really, honestly, if you're looking at it, right? If we take out Ant-Man and Bi, right? Who do we have next? We've got same
Booker and
team,
Luka.
Otto Porter.
Oh, you mean? Wait. Okay, so which you talking about? Golden State?
Talking about
we're talking
general.
about forwards in
Forwards in
general.
general. Well, Ant-Man's a guard, so he's out.
You take out Ant-Man. So I mean, the next best option you would have off the rip would be Bi.
Yes.
If we remove Bi, which obviously they clearly did, we've got Bogdanovich.
No.
He's only played 21 games. Well, then you have Dylan Brooks. That's a no, obviously. We have Harrison Barnes. After that, only things I can think of are them boys on the Rockets. Jayshawn Tate, which obviously we don't want to say that. Cameron Johnson on Phoenix.
Bridges on
Will
Phoenix.
Barton, who is iffy, but I honestly I'd put Will over Wiggins.
Here's an idea. When did they stop mixing the two teams?
They still are. I thought. Like they said, LeBron
Then why are
is
we saying forwards in the West?
Because they have to do that way, and it's a draft. Then they draft.
They draft from the pool of people that are there.
So why would you be named a starter if? Okay, I get it, because they have to at least have 5 starters.
Because you remember the starters are fan votes, and then
No, they're not. No one voted for Andrew Wiggins. I can vouch for that. I spoke to everyone in California and close to 50 states.
Canada?
11 people.
Now.
You talk to Drake from Canada?
So 50% is the fan vote, 25% is media vote, and 25% is player votes. That's how it's all weighted out. But they're saying that I guess Andrew Wiggins got a social media voting push from a K-pop star. Bam Bam, y'all know who that is?
K-pop. That boy got BTS behind him.
That ass BTS behind him.
Got it,
bro. He got a big social media voting push from a K-pop star. I think his name is Bam Bam.
He should be eliminated expeditiously because of that shit.
That shit is wild to me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. There's no way that's be allowed.
That's wild. And what else is wild?
He could buy his way back to where he came from.
I'm just talking about the whole All-Star thing this season in general. From Andrew Wiggins making it to the fucking trash ass jerseys, like the whole shit just.
Bro, the jerseys are fucking garbage.
Son. They look like prison jump shoots. Who came up with this?
I think the red one is serviceable, but that gray one is
not serviceable, bro.
How's a jersey serviceable, man? It's like you can wear it.
It's like any other purpose.
It's like, yo, I don't have shit in the closet. I could wear this red shirt. You know what I mean?
Nah, you're not.
Like that gray one. Listen, that gray jersey, you would find at the bottom of the closet, and you would sit there and say, I ain't got shit to wear. Fuck it, just kick that shit back to the back of the closet.
The 2K league.
Out of the two, which one would you wear?
Like, fuck out of here.
So let me ask you this: so when they release these,
that's all I'm like.
That's all I'm taking right now.
Game blouses.
Who y'all want to definitely see it make it on the reserves list? Now that we got the starters out of the way, that like hands down, like if they don't make it, you're livid, like big snub.
Well,
Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
If he doesn't,
Zach.
Doncic has to be in there in some capacity.
Luka,
Luka's got to be in there.
So Luka, D-Book. I personally think Darius Garland should be in.
First of all, now that you brought that up, Darius Garland should have been a starter in the East. Fuck Trae Young.
Correct.
And not only because I'm a Knick fan and I can't stand a little motherfucker. Trae Young should not be a starter on an All-Star team when he has a stacked team and they're 10th or 11th in the East. Darius Garland took a team that nobody thought was going to win more than 35 games and lost his best scorer in Colin Sexton, which was a blessing in disguise, and has led that team to a 3 seed. That man should be starting
in the East.
12. Yeah, so there you go. 12.
That's wild.
That's wild. With Ice Trae. That's how cold they've been this year. Fuck out of here. I don't want to see Trae Young as an all-star starter. That's bullshit. Facts. Darius Garland should have been the point guard.
It was about winning. It doesn't make sense for him to be there.
Who voted for the little motherfucker?
I feel like
Starters
players whose teams
are I
under
think mostly
500 shouldn't
fans.
start.
Well, the fans got it wrong because nobody want to see Trae Young dumbass, ugly ass hair. Anyway,
So anybody else that should definitely be in it that we're missing?
Who else?
I think Van Vliet I would like to see.
Mhm.
Van Vliet's had a really good season in
that's a good one.
Toronto.
Say Fred. That's
Not as a starter because again they've
Reserve.
brought
You're
it-
saying
brought
reserve.
it on.
What about them boys in the Heat are first place? Jimmy, Bam,
It's
anybody?
tough. Jimmy missed a lot of the
He
season.
missed a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Same with Bam. Bam has missed quite a bit of the season.
So you
And
say
one
you
of our boys,
have a number one seed would put out no All Stars?
I think Kyle Lowry should be an All-Star straight up. I think one of our boys, D1, who's a huge Kyle Lowry fan, would really love to see Kyle Lowry in the All-Star game.
I think he'd appreciate it.
Shout out to my boy D1.
Shout out to D1.
Who's gonna curse me out later?
Yes. I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
Would that be a first in history for have a number one seed and not put out any All Stars whatsoever?
Maybe.
I mean, not to change gears. I know we talking basketball, but remember the Bills' defense was ranked number 1, and not one of them got selected to the Pro Bowl.
Because they couldn't get it done in overtime.
I'm just saying it happens.
who else?
But we
I'm just saying.
What do y'all think about LaMelo?
It happens.
I think
he's not there yet. He's on the front.
I think he should make it.
To be honest, I feel like Bridges has had a better
Who you putting
season.
above him?
I think Bridges has had a better season. On that team, I think Bridges had a better season. I think I would put Bridges on
Bridges over who?
Over LaMelo. He's a better defender.
Doesn't the All-Star reserve still go out like the same format? A certain amount of guards, certain amount of forwards.
Probably, yeah. I'm just throwing names out there. I'm not really keeping count of who what is. There's gonna be snubs regardless. But I think that as a fan base, people want to see LaMelo. But he's still really inconsistent. There are times where, and we're really taking away again. Miles Bridges. And he probably makes it, but in terms of do I think he deserves it? Terry Rozier has had a really good year and has taken away a lot more of the ball handling responsibilities than I think people even know or give him credit for.
Terry was out for a minute though.
And he was in the beginning, but then so was LaMelo. Remember, LaMelo had caught COVID, and he was out for a while. Terry had come back,
but not.
It was just
I feel like LaMelo still played more games than Terry, but
he probably did.
And then at one point in the beginning of the season, even when Terry was playing, I think Terry started off real cold. He wasn't scoring well.
LaMelo started off the season great. Don't get me wrong, but since that whole COVID incident, he hasn't been the same LaMelo. I think he's really taken a step back, and for me, it's like Bridges has been consistently good the whole season.
Are we buying the Cavaliers?
Yes, I think they're legit.
I mean, I fuck with them.
Interior defense is fucking wild.
I fuck with them because when I hit the parlays and they were doubting them all season, +5, +10s. Them boys came through with me some bread, so I fuck with them for that. But I'm talking about like when it's time. Like right now, I think standings they're the 3 seed, and if the playoffs start today, they got Milwaukee,
and they just beat Milwaukee.
And they just beat.
Are they for real? Like are they winning? Like I get it, you got to see them.
I think they slow down Giannis a lot. To be honest,
I was just about to say. I think.
So are they winning the playoff series?
Okay, I'm not gonna go that far. What I will say is just like I said.
I say the Bucks.
The Bucks pose a matchup problem for Brooklyn as currently constructed if their coach wasn't so fucking stupid. I think the reverse is true here. I think the Cavs pose a really big matchup problem for the Milwaukee Bucks.
It's got to be the Middleton show because Giannis isn't doing whatever he wants in the paint. Not with
if there's 2 teams the Bucks don't want to see first round, it's Miami and Cleveland. If those are the 2 teams I have to target, it'd be those 2. If they don't, first of all, Evan Mobley at this point is probably rookie of the year. Scotty Barnes has cooled off a little bit. Evan Mobley's probably rookie of the year. Darius Garland might be most improved player.
Don't forget about that boy Franz.
If it's not Bridges, it's probably Darius Garland. And I'm not going to say Ja because I think Ja should be in the MVP discussion. And I think it would be an insult to put him in the most improved. But I think it's one of those 2 guys. I think they have a really good rotational guy in Markkanen that they can bring either off the bench or they can play as a big ball 3.
Remember, they got Kevin Love scoring fucking like 18 points, 9 rebounds, playing
the bench.
15 minutes off the bench.
Yeah, he's playing about 20 minutes off the bench. He's putting up big numbers off the bench. We can't forget Jared Allen, again, one of the best, I should say, interior defenders in basketball, who's scoring at a better clip. Who's scoring at a better clip this year than he has in the past. I think he's averaging like 16 and 11, 16 and 12.
He's hitting free throws this year too.
Yeah,
he's only you gotta look at it, he's only taking 7-8 shots. You know, he's shooting a high percentage.
That's with them losing key players. They've lost Sexton, which again I think is a blessing in disguise. Honestly, I think they're a better team without Sexton. They lost Rubio, who was having an amazing season for them. Who, as a secondary ball handler, as a defender, you know, he was having a really good season for them. They've lost him, so they've lost some key guys, and they're still winning. So I think that I wouldn't want to see them in the playoffs. I think they're hungry, they're young, energetic. I wouldn't want to see them.
I don't know. Anybody have anything they else want to say about our sorry ass teams out here, man? Before we let these.
We'll be here a whole another hour, so I'm good.
Yeah, I gotta.
I'm straight.
My mama told me I talk too much, so I gotta.
That's a fact, nigga. You do talk a lot. So with that being said, you know, we appreciate y'all tuning in for episode 2, and then we back at you guys for the championship games.
You know the vibes.
Yes, football, baby.
So, Midnight Central Podcast signing out.
We
Peace
out
out.
here.
Ag and Money. X-Boy.
Yes.
Bars.
X out.
Bars.